everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. It is your hosts, Steffi
and Julia.
And together we're Derps and Burps, and we're back with a new episode. And today we're going to talk about why millennials don't get a midlife crisis.
Mm-hmm.
So
excited for that.
Yeah, we were a little bit philosophing. What's the verb of philosophy? Philosophing with Steffu. We were in German. We would say wir waren am Philosophieren. Is what we philosophing? Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds so wrong when you say it in
Harry
in
Potter,
English.
the Philosopher's Stone.
The Philosophing Stone. Oh my god. Anyway, Steffi and me were thinking about an episode topic for today, and we were like, okay, what's there to talk about? And then we went from topic to topic, and then we were like, you know what? We will never have a midlife crisis because we can't even get there.
Plus, we had plenty crisis already.
Our
mental
life
breakdowns,
is a crisis.
everything.
Exactly. So that's going to be our topic today. As you can see, the mood
funny.
is A-okay today. We're going to first update you a little bit about what's going on in our life, what had happened in the last week, and what's going to happen this week. Then listen of the week. And then we're going to talk about how our life is different from the life of our parents and potentially of you if you're younger. But from what I see in our statistics, you're all old fucks like us. You're all in your like mid-end 20s, early 30s, mid-30s, and then there's Stony. Sorry, Stony. I'm kidding. No, do you know Stony's turning 50 next year? We're gonna have to
really?
Yeah, Stony's turning 50 next year. We're gonna have to make a nice 50s party for him. Yep.
Oh, nice.
So, anyway, we will update you now about what happened last week. Steffu, what's new? What happened last week? What's going on this week? Update us.
A lot happened. Last week on Friday, we went to, Ben and I went to a friend's little celebration party. It was just a get-together where we were eating because she is officially allowed to have her own, have her own company as a lawyer. Agency, whatever you want to call it. So that was nice. It was nice to see her again. On Saturday, Max and I drove to an animal shelter in Hungary with two of our friends. And we know this shelter because one of our friends' acquaintances is working there. You good woman?
Oh, fine. I'm muted, so podcast can't hear when I'm coughing. You're fine. Sorry.
So we went there because an acquaintance of our friend is working there. It's an Austrian shelter in Hungary. Very nice one. They take great care of all the doggos. They even have two horses, like two ponies there, just standing and chilling, cats, everything. I started crying the first 5 meters I entered this whole area because there were all the puppies and they were all just coming towards you in their area and jumping against the fence and just looked at you, and I just cried. I was like, I cannot take this. These are only the babies. Julia's dying.
It's fine. I'm muting. Podcast is not hearing it.
I just started with the I started with we started with the babies, and then you get to all the other doggos, and so we went there. They have quite a lot of cute ones. Max and I fell in love with two in specific. More like I fell in love with two. Max fell in love with one. The one doggo we both fell in love with looks like Julia says like a wombat.
It is a wombat.
Yeah,
I swear they're trying to sell her a dog that is actually a wombat, and I'm all here for it.
It's so cute. She's so cute. So yeah, we went for a walk here as well with her. It was a very
What's
nice
her name
day.
again? Macy?
Mency. We stayed there longer than planned. Obviously, we were like, yeah, we're going to be there for 2 hours. It's a 2 hours drive. We're going to stay there for 2 hours, and then we drive back for 2 hours, and then we go for dinner. We arrived at 1, I think, and left at 5. So It's been a bit longer. It was very nice talking to them. We spent a lot of time in the kindergarten area where all the puppies were. They were super hyped, super cute. Took a lot of videos. That was amazing. So yeah, I'm considering, or let's say I'm pretty sure I want one. Max is not so sure yet.
Mm.
So yeah, that's that. Sunday was just chilling and working on a few like Etsy things. Apex new season started. It's completely scuffed. People read to Pret and it's amazing. I love it.
You're all here for it?
I'm all here for it. You can get a shit ton of points for doing 0 damage, and if you deal damage and if you get kills, you get even more points. So it's a bit scuffed, to be honest, but just use it to your advantage, right?
Mm.
There's no point in crying about it. So just use it to your advantage. Beside that, there's a lot of things going on the next few months because of all the events. There's a lot of events coming up. Ben and I are planning to go to a big K-pop event in Vienna together with a friend, Khaleesi. She's going there as well with a friend, so we drive there together. Gonna be fun. It's a European tour thingy. They come to every city
Mm-hmm.
and have a pretty good DJ, and it's like a huge event. Super excited for that. Beside that, by the time you hear this, it's Sazonita wedding week, right? So on Saturday, we're gonna be at their wedding.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yes.
I can't wait for it. Like I was literally I remember getting the letter a year ago for the invitation for the wedding, and I was so excited. Like it's the first. Like I was on 2 or 3 weddings so far, and it's like the first wedding where I think I'm gonna get really, really emotional. Like I was at one of like Caro and Stefan back then, but I wasn't really like that involved in everything at the time. Like I knew them for 12 years, both of them being together. I knew like them as a couple of 12 years. I knew how they got together and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like to Nita and Sazo, I have like a even
deeper
a tighter
connection.
bond. Yeah, deeper connection. So I just feel like I'm gonna just be crying the whole Saturday, and Nathan is gonna be like, "Oh my god, why did I? Why didn't I bring more tissues?"
Max and him can sit together and we just cry.
Oh yeah, we just keep it together. It's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah, so Steffi and me gonna just be a full wreck and happy for them too. I'm really, really excited though. I think it's gonna be a really amazing wedding.
Yeah.
This week I still need to go buy stuff to wear.
Same. I need shoes.
Nathan as well. I need shoes.
Max as well.
I'm thinking about. I think I'm just gonna wear Vans. Like I have cream colored Vans. I think I'm just gonna wear cream colored Vans, and then like a nice dress or combo or something.
Yeah.
Like I have one dress that I ordered, but it's like it has like a corset kind of thing on top, and it fits perfectly, but it's pretty snug. And if I'm thinking that we're gonna have to sit there for like the whole evening and eat and like dance and have fun, like I'm just thinking that it's a dress I can be comfortable in for 2 hours, but maybe not the whole evening and really enjoy it. So I'm thinking I'm probably go with Nathan and we're gonna find something that I can be more free in, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna see if I find something. Worst case, I have the dress anyway. But yeah, I'm really, really, really excited for that one. Sorry for interrupting you again.
Same. Then, what happened? Eurovision Song Contest happened a week ago. I sadly came home very late, so I didn't see the performances, but the winning performance, and I heard Finland through the radio because they were live streaming it on the radio. I loved Finland. I wanted them to win. Like
they
out of all,
won, honestly, they should have won.
I was so hyped when they got so many points, but then Sweden, and Sweden was kind of lame. Not gonna lie. So yeah,
the highly medicated lady.
Much. Yeah, she was like super stoned. And we did like what we planned was Ben coming over and then we watched together, but it got so late that he said, okay, he's gonna stay home. So, and our friends were in Discord, so I just joined the Discord call and we had like a watch party over Discord and I watched the last, I think, 2 hours with them or 1.5 hours until it ended. So yeah, it was okay. Songs were pretty lame, to be fair. I just heard like screaming all the time. It's like everyone was just trying so hard to be like the super. It was super annoying. And then, oh yeah, good news. A big news, guys, for my lash lady. She's pregnant. Fuck. Did you know like lashes cost so much? Like
Ah.
she is a very good one, and her prices are totally okay. So I'm so fine with paying it. I even give her I always give her tips as well. And then I looked up everything in Graz is so fucking expensive. I cannot afford lashes anymore if she's gone.
Plus,
So I
she's
need to
making them
find
really nice, and it doesn't look that
yes.
like.
Yeah. And I need to find someone. And I told her, I'm so sad, but I'm so happy for you. And if she has someone she can recommend to me where I can go while she's gone, I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, let's see. I hope she has someone, because otherwise I'm gonna be naked with next month again, because I can't
Aw.
afford lashes anymore. It's like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. It's like between 50 and $60 everywhere else, and most of them do not even fill. You have to do the first
Session.
session as well there. So they
Okay.
basically don't accept you if you didn't do the first session there. First session usually costs between 120 and 160. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm.
And I already have lashes. So yeah, super annoying. I'm happy for her, but I'm super I'm super stressed out about that.
So you're thinking about stopping doing it altogether?
If I can't find someone that is financially okay, like with the prices, I probably will stop, because I cannot afford that. Like 3 weeks or every 2 weeks for $50 is just $100 a month for lashes. That's too much for me. It's way too much. I'd rather invest that in a dog then, huh?
That's what I was thinking. Fuck the lashes, get a dog.
Yeah, or both.
Or
I
both.
find a good one.
Exactly. A good dog or
So,
a
yeah.
good lash lady?
both. Lash lady,
No, we're
lash lady.
taking.
I need a good
Listen,
lash lady.
the wombat is already. I'm already ready to be the wombat aunt.
Yeah, I know. She's very cute. And she chose us, kinda.
That's when you know.
To us. Yeah. What about you, Julia? I'm done.
Sorry.
Sorry. Let me throw that in.
Yeah.
If anybody's in Graz, guys, and you know a good lash lady, please let me know. Text me on Instagram or under
Please let her
this
know.
episode. Please, I need one. I need one. I do everything to find a good one.
She really needs a good lash lady.
I need a good lash lady, guys.
Oh my
Preferably
god.
without happy ending.
Guys, if you are not watching the video to this episode and you don't know why I'm laughing, please just rewatch this with video. Steffi's emote was beautiful. Anyway, so what's new with me? So this week I'm cat sitting for my neighbor. She's on holidays, so I'm taking care of Fritzi. Fritzi is the cat of my neighbor.
How old?
I think he's 6 or 6 or 8. I'm not sure. I think 6. But he's a little bit evil. So he's like one of these cats that like
every
rolls
cat.
around. No. Listen, my cats don't do that. They like rolls around and then you pet him and then he acts like he likes it and out of a sudden he attacks you but really bad. He bit his owner twice. She works at the hospital, so she got in early, but she had to get like stitches and injections because he bit her that hard twice already. Alarm!
Shit.
It's not for you,
Alarm.
Steffi. Steffi's getting picked up again. Today is a busy alarm day for her, I feel like. So yeah, anyway, cat sitting Fritzi, trying to not get bit, but he's a really pretty boy. It was the neighbor that also had the dad of Blinky. But he sadly passed away in the beginning of this year. They had to neuter him. Is that the word? Or put him down? I'm not sure. Like he didn't really eat anymore, and he had only like 2 kilos left or something. He was just bone and skin and bone anymore, and he wouldn't eat. And so they had to put him down sadly. But I think he turned 14 or something like that. So
that's a good age.
He had a really, really good age, and he got hit by a car twice in his life. He got run over by a car twice, and once over his head that his jaw got broken, so he couldn't even like close his mouth anymore. So he always looked like this. And But he was a really cool cat. Like I went there, like I had to go feed them twice a day, like wet food when I went there, and like so I was there and waiting for him to eat and then clean the plate and stuff. So yeah, this time it's the first time that I cat sit when it's only Fritzi.
Okay.
But that's fine. Then, what's new? Cat sitting. Last week, I played a little bit of variety games on stream. I tried Hydroneer. If you don't know Hydroneer, maybe you watched the YouTuber Let's Game It Out, I think is his name. Basically, what he does, he plays like random games. Most of the time, it's like simulation games. And then he does super extreme things and brings the game to crash, or does like really, really crazy things with games. And Nathan and me watch him all the time, and he made, I think, 3 or 4 videos on Hydroneer. And every time I watch the videos, I was like, oh, fuck, I really want to play this game. It's basically short stories. You go into like a village. It's kind of like an open world thing. And it's like where you wash jewels and metals out of water, out of dirt, you know, like so gold washing. And then you sell it, and then you can either build houses, you can automate, so you can make like, you can build really cool automations in the game, or you can go full, I don't know, Sims and build a house, or play the economics. Like there's many different ways of playing it. But a very, very good game. I played it, I had so much fun, and I think the coolest experience that I had as well, like it's kind of indie game. I don't really know if it's still considered an indie game, but it's a small UK
Company
developer that makes it. I think it's like a handful of guys from the UK and one American. And when I started playing, like not all the devs, but a lot of the devs actually came in, because apparently I was like the only person streaming it on this day, and I had like 100 viewers, and they were like super nice. They were like, hey, if you need any help, let us know, what do you think, like, and they were showing me like little Easter eggs they were hiding in the game. And they were like literally, I think I streamed it for like 8 hours straight, or 6 hours straight, and they were sitting there for 6 hours, like really in chat interacting. And they also gave me 2 keys to give away on stream. Like I bought the game myself. I decided to play myself, and they were like, hey, if your community likes it, we can give you like 2 keys for them to try it as well, and so you can raffle it. And they were so nice. So in addition to the game being actually really good, they were super nice as well. So it makes me feel like I have like a real connection to the game. So I'm really looking forward to playing this again. And the people are super nice. So it's a plus. Sorry, I just wanted to write something down. So yeah, Hydroneer, really good game. Really enjoyed it. Then I played Zelda, the new Zelda game. I have to say, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people will hate me for this. All the Zelda people. It is so fucking boring, and it's such a fucking joke, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. No, I'm really pissed. So before I flew to, when I flew to Tokyo, I played the old Zelda on my Switch. I was like, oh fuck yeah, let me play this again. I knew the new one is coming out, so I'm just gonna get a little bit into a feeling. And then I started playing the new one last week, and it's literally, I'm not spoiling any like story or something like that. It's just the way the game is built, right? So it's literally the same way the last game is built. So it's like more or less a copy paste of the first game. So if you like the first game and you kind of want to replay this but in a new world, then you're gonna enjoy it. But it's basically the exact same thing. You start out, it's basically the tutorial, right? You get, everything gets erased. You need to learn all the abilities and everything again. So it's basically, I think I played 6 hours so far, 5 or 6 hours of tutorial. So like, hey, go there. Then you, oh my God, alarm, kind of alarm, honking. I don't know. Steffi's neighborhood is going crazy. So yeah, it's like basically 5 or 6 hours of tutorial where you learn how to do everything in the game again, which I guess can be nice if it's like your first Zelda game, but it's the exact same as in the old one. more or less like go to this shrine, then go to this shrine, and then when you collected all the shrines, you can go out in the world. And then there's this thing.
Yeah.
After 5 or 6 hours, I'm like, yes, I gave it a second chance. I played it again. Done with the tutorial. They're like at a big door. You push it, and then it's like, oh, by the way, there's some more tutorial you need to do before you can actually go into like the good part of the game. And then I just rage quit it. I was like, fuck yeah, finally I pushed through this fucking tutorial part for 6 hours. And they're like, oh, by the way, go back. You need to do more stuff. So I don't know how much more is there to do.
Wow.
But yeah, it made me so mad that I actually rage quitted the game and went to play Face It level 1 with my Russians. I enjoyed that more than playing.
And then we played Apex.
And then we played Apex, exactly. So yeah, anyway, I didn't really enjoy Zelda that much because just the tutorial part is so fucking long. And I'm also disappointed, I have to say. The game is 70 euros, $70, which I think is a lot for a Switch game. I get it, it's an open world, it's a big game, yada yada yada. But for what it is, so first of all, they still don't have voice actors in the game, really. Like they have Zelda that is voice acted, but like all the other characters that you meet in the world so far as I'm like 6 hours in the game, you have to read the text yourself. They don't even have voice actors that read the text for you, which I think is a little bit sad for that price of the money. Second, the graphics on the Switch, really, like, it's the same as the old game. How old is the old game? I think it's like 7 or 8 years old. It's the exact same graphics, I think. I get it, the console is 7 or 8 years old, but it just looks poop. It's like, for me, it's just as disappointing as the last 2 Pokemon games, kind of, where it's like I think the game would be good, but there's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm stuck like 7 to 8 years ago. Like I don't know anything about the story yet because, as I said, I played 6 hours of tutorial so far. So it might be that the story is really good, that they implemented cool new mechanics into the game, but it looks poop. The intro is super, super slow. So for me, a big turnoff, because I like games to just pull me in straight and make me immerse into the world and feel connected and everything. And for me, it was just like 6 hours of tutorial. So yeah, I mean, it is the same with the first part. Again, like it's kind of similar. Once you get over that, I'm sure it's gonna become good. But for me, the feedback for the developers, not that they would ever give a fuck about what I say, but I would make it a little bit more fast paced, or at least a little bit more engaging for the story. Yeah, that's my take on Zelda. So I'm sorry if I'm pissing anybody off. Beside of that, Link looks actually really hot in this. And I googled, he's 117 years old in this game.
So weird.
I'm allowed to say that, okay? I did my research. If I'm allowed to say if Link is hot, he's 117 years old.
Not a minor.
He's good in the game. Not a minor. He's older than me. I can say that. So yeah. Beside of that, could have been an amazing game for me. Sadly, a little bit too slow. What else is new? Just a little update, because we had an episode about the 5 love languages. I read an article yesterday, actually, that they officially added 2 new love languages to the whole principle, which is shared experiences and emotional security. So shared experiences is like kind of a sub category of quality time. Like if you felt like, oh yeah, quality time kind of, but not really. So shared experiences is, for example, you want to make new memories with your loved one. So for example, for you, it's not necessarily like, oh, I want the undivided attention, not having their phone while we watch TV or whatever it is, or just talking to you, but it's like experiencing new things with people that you love. So let's say finding a new hobby, going to new places, traveling together, so that kind of stuff. And the second thing is emotional security. Those are the 2 new love languages that they added to it, apparently. I haven't really read that much about it, but I just wanted to toss it in because I read that. Then our heating got repaired last week, so that's really nice. I played mom for Verena last week. We went a little bit of furniture shopping. We didn't buy anything because she didn't want to buy the small things, decorative items yet. Before she doesn't have like the big things and don't have the
Yeah.
apartment yet, which makes sense. And she didn't buy any big furniture, but we could figure out a lot of things that she doesn't want. So it's like a good
Okay.
thing, like, hey, I know what I don't want, so she can focus more on the things that she does want. But I think she was a little bit sad because she didn't end up buying anything while we were there. And today I'm going with her to my insurance guy. Like, I have a really nice guy that is a insurance agent. So he doesn't work just for one insurance, but he offers like different insurances from different companies. And so I'm helping Verena kind of, because she has no idea how it works, with like having your own flat, getting your insurance for your flat, and all of that kind of stuff. And then she's like, I'm kind of shy. Can you like come with me? So like I called him last Monday and I was like, you know what, I can go with you if you want. I was like, hey, my friend is a little bit shy. Is it okay if I come too? So we have today the appointment in the afternoon. I'm going with her to her.
They grow up so fast.
They grow up so fast, dude. Verena's turning 30 this year. I'm so proud. Such a proud mom. No, I'm kidding. Sister. I honestly
Can't imagine.
Verena is just my little sister. That's kind of how it feels. And yeah, beside of that, today I can finally go back to the gym after not working out for roughly 10 days because I had like my back tattoo. It was a pretty huge area and it was really tight. So, and I still have like some small scabs, I think it's called, on the back. But now it's fine. So today we're going back to the gym, which I'm also excited. Yeah, that was the update for me. Listener of the week, Steffi. Who do we have?
Tony, under episode 69,
69.
Take care of your effing self. And he says, wrong topic for episode 69, by the way. Stoney, we know.
Yeah.
We literally said when we started the episode, we need to make a lot of 69 jokes, but we actually didn't make a single fucking joke.
Yeah, not
and
a
I realized that
fucking one.
Nah, I realized that when we stopped recording and when we left Discord, I was like, fuck, I didn't make a single 69 joke.
Yeah,
We
like
both did.
Our plan was, my plan was technically when we came in, I was like, Steffi, episode 69, we need to make something sexual. We need to make it funny. We need to make it witty. And Steffi was like, I feel enlightened, empowered. I need to talk about health and taking care of yourself. And I was like,
Yeah.
Listen, I think that's a good idea because it's important for you right now. You're patient about it now. That's why we make this episode right now. And then I completely forgot about like making all the 69 jokes. So
Same.
kind of sad, but hey.
We can make a 69.1 episode and talk about all the like Kama Sutra.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Another thing actually that I wanted to put in. I started to do like the NGL, like the not gonna lie anonymous question stuff. Jesus Christ. Dude, the questions there. Like I was like, okay, maybe there's really interesting questions that people just don't have the balls to ask when you know who it is. It's literally just like, hey, will you show more on your OnlyFans? Will you do porn? Can you show your tatas? What's your favorite sex position? Can you show me your feet? Did you ever had somebody lick your armpit? Like that kind of stuff? And I'm like, dude.
To be fair,
yes.
You know what you can do with those questions? You can say, I will be answering those on
my OnlyFans. Yeah, that's the thing. But I'm just not interested. Like I'm like, hey, I wanted to have like a really cool Q&A of people that are like,
you don't get Julia, what do you expect?
I don't know. I expected people to have like more interest than just
expect the least.
I don't know. Yeah, literally. My expectation.
There's nothing.
Listen, I'm expecting way too much for people.
Yeah,
from people.
You do.
Sadly, I really do.
You do.
Yeah.
They just want to wank.
That is correct. So yeah, but expecting too much out of life. Let's get back to our topic. Why millennials don't have a midlife crisis. Smooth transition into the topic.
Perfection.
Thank you. So yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit about it because Steffi had the whole topic with she was saying we could talk about the whole thing about how the relation or many relationships of our generations are now deciding, are we going to have a dog or are we going to have a kid, right? So, and that reminded me that I read actually an article on why millennials are not having a midlife crisis like the generation of our parents, of Steffi and us, had, for example. And I think it was really, really interesting because it was talking about how our whole society is shifting of, first of all, obviously, how easy, under quotation marks, it was to achieve certain things for the generations before us compared to now. Right? So if you think about our parents or their parents before that, how much money they made in like a normal job, how much cheaper it was to afford housing, to have children, how like if you think about, like, let's say the generations of let's say our grandparents, right? Like the way they lived was the man worked full time most of the time. Like this, let's talk stereotypical, right? So I can just say from my grandparents, it was my granddads were working. Both of my grandmas were stay-at-home moms.
As it should be.
Steffi, honestly, I fuck being a boss ass bitch. I just want to be a stay-at-home mom and cook food. honestly, I can see the appeal of it. I'm not gonna lie. So everybody should just do whatever they want. But I do see appeal in that as well. Not for me, obviously. My life, I'm way too driven to wanting to achieve way more things than that. But I do understand it. So going back to it, so it was my granddads were both working full time. My grandmas were both staying home. For my dad, there were 3 siblings. For my grandma, they had 2 children. They were both like my grandma from my mom's side. They had like a penthouse in the middle of the city in Klagenfurt. My granddad was working in the radio/television as a commentator, and my other grandpa was working first in the police, and then he was actually the owner of the Corinthian Buchverlag, like the thingies that are releasing books. I don't know what it's called, like Verlag. I don't know how to, like.
I know what you mean, yeah, but
publisher.
I don't know
exactly.
the English.
Yeah,
Publisher,
the publisher,
yeah.
exactly. The publisher of our state. And he wrote books himself as well. Yeah, and they both had their own home. My grandparents, for example, they had a second home in the mountains as well, like a house that they built that they then gave to their children, right? So my mom inhabited and her sister, they got like the house in the mountains and a apartment in the city, right? I remember that when my parents were building the house, they both got like money from their parents to start building their own house, you know. And so on and so on. And if you think about it, now for our parents, it was already harder to build their own home, but they had their support, or at least from my parents, how can I say it? But they had support from their grandparents, so it was kind of still possible for them to build their own home. And for me, if I wouldn't have been as fortunate with the job that I have, and the same with Nathan, alarm. Like if I would be still working in my old job where I like earned 1,400 euros or whatever it was, I would never be able to afford having my own house. Like I'm really I know that I'm really fortunate in the way that we live right now, that we can afford it. But I know that if I would have stayed in my normal job, it would have been impossible for me to have a house and pay off the debt for building a house in my lifetime, no matter how much I work. And thinking about that, it's actually crazy. And thinking back, like your parents were, like our grandparents were like 30 and they were like, I buy this piece of land and I build a house on it. And on the same time, only I work, my wife stays home, and I have 3 children, and we have 2 cars, and we have this and this and this and this, and we can live a comfortable life. So yeah. And then once they reach a certain part in their life, like when they're in their 40s and their 50s, they get bored of having achieved everything, and then they're like, fuck, I need to act out, I need to start drinking, I need to start smoking cigarettes, I need to start an affair, I need to buy a sports car, I need to shave my head as a woman, whatever it is. The kids are out of the house, they lose their whole identity of what's happening, and then midlife crisis strikes, right? For us, we have a crisis kind of like that way early in our lives, right? Since we, or most of us, can't even get to the point where you comfortably can afford housing, potentially children, maybe having only one part of the relationship staying home, or maybe just working part-time or whatever it is. Many of us panic early in their life. So you maybe have like a quarter life crisis or something, because you realize that under normal circumstances, you won't be able to ever afford what your parents or your grandparents have. And you realize that it's not even your own fault, but society's, that realistically, there's only a really small chance that you can have all of that without being in debt for the rest of your life. And potentially, instead of how our instead of the generations before us that could inherit their next generations like houses or land or money, like all that we potentially can inherit our children, if we decide to have any, is going to be debt, right? Or if we're lucky that we go out at zero, right?
That is something they always took loans back then as well, but I feel like it was just easier for them to pay them back, even though it was 30 years of their lives. They paid it back within the 30 or 40 years as well, and we're done by the age of 60. The other question is, do you really want that?
Or
like
earlier.
People nowadays,
like, I think they were done way earlier because it was so much cheaper to build their houses. Like,
I mean, I know friends.
My parents,
of us,
yes. Like my parents, yes. Like, for example, my mom and my dad, I think they would have been done in their 50s, paying back the loan for the house.
Yeah, so I'd say between 50 and 60.
And my granddad and my grandmom, I think they were done like in their 40s already, like paying back, or if they even had that. So, and now the point is that, especially in this year, for example, it's really hard to even get a loan if you don't have a certain amount of what is it called? Starting money. Like, I forgot how much percent it is, but was it 10 or 20% deposit? Is it deposit? No, it's not deposit.
I think it's 10%.
Yeah, I think you need to
10%
have at least
Startkapital.
Starting capital to build
philosophy
stone, starting capital.
So,
yeah, we're really good with those terms. No, but anyway, so for many people, it's even a problem to just have those 10% of money you need to even request a loan now, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's crazy. And on the same at the same time, the prices for rent are exploding. So it's like you pay so much money that you basically burn, right? Because you don't at the end of the day, you don't have anything out of it. That was also why Nathan and me, we decided to buy the house of my parents built, right? Because we were like, back then it was still way cheaper, the rent and everything, right? But we were like, okay, instead of burning, I don't know, back then again it was cheap. We paid like 1,000 euros rent or 1,200 euros rent for a house with a garden with 2 parking spots. But we were like, yeah, you couldn't even get that. I think they rent the same house that we rented for 1,100 euros. When did we, in 2017, they rent this one now for 1,800. Like it is insane. So instead of and exactly what Fudge just put in the notes, the thing is the rents are so high that if you're renting right now, most of the time you can't even afford to put money aside to get that deposit for a potential credit, right?
We're fucked either way though. There's no way if you don't earn a very good or don't have a very good salary.
Yeah, if you're not earning above average,
you cannot do anything, because you can choose between renting or, as you said, like taking a loan, but then again you have to have the starting money, the 10%, to be even able to get the loan.
Yeah.
And what I see now is, because a friend of us bought, with the help of his parents, he bought an apartment in Graz, which was very expensive, and he doesn't have a fixed what's it called, credit.
Yeah. Like
He doesn't have the
thing
fixed
that you-
percentage.
yeah.
It just raises, like it skyrockets at the moment. So he
No.
has to pay more and more back. The interest,
The
exactly.
interest,
Thank you.
holy
The
shit.
interest is just raising. So what he has, he's working.
Mhm.
He has he's doing his master's study right now. I think he's almost done with that, and working and being self-employed.
Mm.
And he literally has to find a way to afford all this for the next 30 years, because the interest is going so much up that he basically almost can't afford living anymore. So like, pick your poison, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's very hard to decide, and I think it's a matter of what you want to do. Some people just decide to rent, because also a friend and I talked about it. If you decide to not have kids and all that, back then with the generations, you build your house, you knew someone else gonna live in this house potentially, or you're gonna sell it, right? If you don't choose to have like another generation or have kids or whatever, you don't even have someone to give what you built when you're leaving this planet. So it gets sold anyways, or it gets back, like it comes back to the bank and they sell it because you don't have anyone, or whatever it is, right? There's so many options. So so many reasons. So things have changed so much that you just decide for yourself what is better. I either rent for the rest of my life, and when I leave, I don't have anything to give but the stuff that is in my apartment or was in my apartment. Or, for example, if you have a house, or like try to pay back a house nowadays, it's just impossible. Like it's not possible. You can't.
I mean, as
Unless
you say,
you're
like,
lucky.
it's different on how you want to live. Like for me, I have I have like two really good examples in my parents in how to live. So for example, my dad, he's now 66 and he's living basically to the fullest. Like I have really like two completely extremely polar opposite parents. So my dad is all the money that he gets every month, he just spends it and enjoys life as much as he wants.
Yeah.
He drinks, he goes out to go out for dinner 3 times a week. He drives a car that he has on a lease, a really strong car with a lot of horsepower. He rents a nice apartment. He has a dog. But in the end of the month, there's nothing left on his bank account. Like he just lives from the money he gets, he spends it, and he enjoys life to the fullest.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I can 100% understand, because for him, it's like he doesn't know how much life he has left to live. So he just lives every day to the fullest. And I think on one hand, that is very, very beautiful, because like he really just does. Like in the beginning, like when I was younger, I was really judging him for that, because ever since he got divorced from my mom is a very strict and planned person that, you know, each month we need to put away that much money, and she always like kept everything when it comes to financial things in our family. And then when my dad got separated from her, you could just see like he got paid out half of what the money was our house was worth, and he spent that money, I think, within 3 months. He bought a car and he went fucking, I don't know, enjoyed
Nuts.
his life, right? And then money was gone, and then he was happy. And for me in the beginning, I was like, holy shit, he's a fucking idiot. And on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, I know that my dad is not going to have any regrets in his life, because he just does whatever makes him happy in the moment. And for that, I'm kind of like jealous, because he's unapologetically himself, right? And he can live like that because he doesn't have to worry about like a wife anymore. He doesn't have to worry about me. He knows that I'm fine. He knows that I'm not like relying on him giving anything to me once he's not there anymore. So that's beautiful that he can do whatever he wants, and he really doesn't care what other people think. So that is the one side that I have, and on the other side I have my mom that is kind of like the other extreme, that is just like hamstering everything and trying to spend as little as possible and make the most of what she has, and just like saves up for like the time she will need it, but she's never living to the fullest, if that makes sense.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to just throw in. Like, I understand the part of like have some money on the side, but what I don't have at all is the fear of not having enough for whenever it is needed. Because I don't want to live when I'm 60. I want to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do, and not just like have the money on the side to be able to potentially do it when I'm 55. I do not want to start living when I'm 55 or 60 or whenever. I want to do it whenever I want to do it. So I understand it, like, kind of, because it's always good to have something on the side, obviously, no matter if it just your washing machine breaks or whatever it is, right? There's always things, or you need to go to the dentist and get your like tooth fixed or whatever it is. It's a lot of money every now and then that comes, like, happens, or like you need a bunch of money whenever something happens in your life. But I am not afraid, like never, that I won't have enough later on, because I can worry about this later on. Like, I need to worry about my present now, and I want to enjoy my present. So a mixture of both is, for example, like what I would do, because my stepdad is the same. He's like hoarding the money at home, right? He's like, we need all this, like having this home is a safe
for the bad times. Like, we never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, they didn't even have like internet home, like Wi-Fi and their own router until 2 years after my mom moved in, or 3 years, because he just, it was too much money for him to spend on, right? Like, he didn't need it. And then I was like, you're like socially active so much, like you're active so much on social media, you need a Wi-Fi, just use it. And for Netflix and whatever it is, like, and those are the things where I just don't save because I don't care if I want this in my life, like Wi-Fi. You just pay it and you have it. And I'm not really afraid of this, like, at all. But I think it's also because of their parents, right? They were like kind of post-war and all of that, and they were still a different generation where they didn't have that much. So I understand where it comes from.
Yeah, for sure. Like, or not knowing if you have enough money to buy food next month or whatever it is. Like, I do get that. And my mom is like also similar. As I said, like, she's really extreme. She's like checking, oh yeah, where's the milk 5 cents cheaper? Is it gonna be Hofer or Lidl this week? And then she's gonna like bulk buys those huge amounts and that kind of stuff.
But I understand that as well, because the prices with everything rising, like, not only the rent,
but she always did it, no matter what time it was. Not now. Like, she did that ever since I'm a child. No matter if we were financially stable or not. It started since she's not with my dad. So ever since the divorce, like, I feel like they were balancing each other out very well while they were together. At least that's the way I saw it. I was obviously really young. I was like 11 when they separated. But for me, it was like everything had like a nice balance between them.
Yeah.
And then once they separated, they went like in the extremes. But yeah, so for me, it's like similar to what you say. Like, I like having money on the side that I know if my car breaks down, as you say, I have an emergency, there's something with the animals, or like, you know, there's so easy a moment where you're gonna need like 2,000-3,000 euros, you know, for something. If I just think like a normal service for my car sometimes costs like 800 euros, you know, and it would give me anxiety if I would know that I don't have a certain amount of money on the side at all times. And like, I'm lucky to be in a position where I don't have to like check like, oh, do I have the 100 euros on my bank account right now to buy groceries? Do I have to think about if I can afford going ham at the grocery store and buying all the new things, and maybe buying I don't know, the snack that's €4 instead of €2 because I want to have that specific one or buy one or whatever it is. So I'm really fortunate when it comes to those kind of things. But yeah, I think I want to be like a good mix between my parents, where I live in a moment, and I can honestly say that if there's something that I really want to have, I buy it for myself. Like I obviously see like, okay, is it just like an urge that I have now that I want to spend it, and then most of the time, when you buy something, you lose interest in it 2 weeks later. So obviously I try to consider those kind of things. But overall, like if I want something and I know it's gonna make me happy, even if it's for a short term, I usually do it because, as I say, like you don't know. Maybe I cross the street tomorrow and I get hit by a bus and I'm dead, and then I'm gonna die with all the money that I have on my bank account and saved it for a better time or whatever it is. And I think I really started doing what I wanted and what would make me happy in my life and make my life fulfilled, because like as a human, we're always like looking forward, like that's like a natural thing, like you have your next goal, like that once I have this, I'm gonna be happy. Once I reach this point in my life, I'm gonna feel fulfilled. And then when you're almost at your goal, you're already thinking about the next goal, and then like the fulfillment of what you were waiting for is already like gone and moved on to the next point. So when I kind of realized that, I really started doing the things that I want, or like things like, for example, my partner really doesn't like traveling. So Nathan travels a lot through work. So in his free time, he's happy when he's home and can just relax and spend time with animals, enjoy our house and garden and stuff. So he's not interested in doing any fancy 5-star Maldives holidays kind of stuff, or travel to Japan or whatever. But I knew that I always wanted to travel there. And in my mind, I was always like, yeah, Max, I cannot enjoy those kind of things if I can't do it with him. So I was like limiting myself, and I was not doing that. And then, like last year I went to Dubai with Kerstin. This year I went to Tokyo with Laura. So I understood that I can do whatever I want with whoever I want if it makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like I don't need, first of all, my partner, or I don't need to wait for the right moment. Like I'm just doing all of those things that make me happy in the moment, because you don't know when and if you're gonna be able to enjoy those kind of things, later on in life. And to come a little bit back to like circle back into the whole like millennial thing, like I wrote down as kind of an, how do I say it? Like it's a overly overdone stereotype of how we millennials are. So I wrote down, plants are the new dogs are the new kids, and kids are the new houses, right? So nowadays already having a pet is really expensive, right? Like first of all, things that you don't think about while having a dog, for example, like you need to pay once a year, you need to pay the dog tax, you need to put it on your household insurance or have your own insurance for the dog.
You have that still in Corinthia?
Yep. What do you mean? Like the insurance or the dog tax?
The dog tax. We don't have dog taxes anymore in Syria. Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
No, you don't.
Like when you have a dog in Corinthia, you need to go to the state thingy and you need to register your dog to your address and to your name.
Yeah.
And then you get a marque.
A plate. Yeah, but you don't have to pay for that anymore here.
You pay €2 for a plate, and then you pay, and then you pay per year. I think for 2 dogs, I pay €140 a year, or 120.
That's crazy. Like that's gone here. Like we don't have that anymore.
That's crazy.
There's Hundesteuer, meinst du da?
Ich glaube, so hast du, ja.
Yep, die haben wir nicht mehr.
Okay. That's crazy that we live in the same country, but from
what you have to do here, I don't know if that's a thing in Corinthia as well. When you get a dog, you have to have this basic workshop that is like 3 hours that costs you $50 once, and then you're basically like, okay, you're allowed to have a dog. It's literally basic shit. Like how to put on the leash, like how to act with the dog, like and work with the dog. This is what you
Yeah.
have to do here, and then
Okay.
yeah.
We don't have to do that, I think, anymore. Or maybe I don't know. I remember I did like the basic course with Mira, but I did that because I wanted it. I don't think you have to. I think it's a good thing that you have to do that, even if it's just
Mm-hmm.
very basic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's enough idiots out there. So basically, yeah, dog tags. You need like the basic stuff for your dog first, all the toys, the food.
This is, sorry to throw it in, since 2019 we don't have that anymore.
But only in Graz. Okay.
Apparently, yeah, it's an article about Graz.
That's nice.
Graz.
Good for you. Good for you. Then you need to
But
put
yeah,
it in
that
your insurance.
comes as well.
Exactly. Then you have to think about you need to go vaccinate your dog, which can easily
That
be
in
like
general.
$100 a year. You can roughly. Then your dog is gonna get sick every now and then. That obviously depends really on your vet. Like we have a nice one where I pay like, I don't know, $20-$30 usually when I go. But I know
Yeah.
people that go to like those clinics where they charge you just to come in $50, and then
Yeah.
for just checking out the dog another 35, and then
Yeah.
it stacks up and it can be hundreds of euros. And obviously, like if your dog has something really bad, needs an operation, those kind of things, it can go into the thousands really, really quickly. So that's what you need to consider. So a lot of people are not even dog moms or dads. They're becoming plant dogs, plant moms
Plant
or dads.
dads.
Plant dogs. Yeah, you're becoming plant dog. No, plant moms. And that's actually how I started as well. Like I'm evolving from being a plant mom to being a cat mom, then becoming a dog mom. And who knows, maybe I'm going to be a real mom at one point as well. But yeah, plants are cheaper than dogs in normal cases, unless you're really crazy. There's some really expensive plants there as well. Also, another example, Steffi right here, she started with the plants as well. I'm just saying, and now she's talking about the dog. So we
To
see
be
a pattern
fair,
here.
no, with the
Just
plants,
kidding. I'm
I
just
got
kidding.
forced into this because I don't need plants to be happy in my life. I don't care about them in my apartment. I love looking at beautiful trees outside when I go for walkies. But I don't really need them in my apartment. And then one day Max came home from IKEA. Maria and him went to IKEA and he brought me this plant. And I'm grateful for the plant, but I didn't need it.
By the way, did the thingy survive so far? The one in the water that I gave you? Is it alive?
Oh, yeah, it's in the kitchen.
Yay!
It's
Because I
like
gave a little...
thriving.
Is rooting already? Nice. Nice. You can soon put it
I'm
into...
gonna tell you when it died.
No, you can put it into soil soon. You're not gonna kill it. You're gonna see.
I will.
I gave her another plant to take care of. So yeah, anyway, plants are the new dogs. Then dogs are the new kids, because obviously, like, dogs are a lot of work, but they're still probably way cheaper than children and a little bit less time consuming.
Yeah, I mean, you can fuck them up as well, but I think
yeah.
you can fuck up kids more than dogs. Like, you have to live with the consequences back then, right? Because a kid lives longer. If you fuck up your child, who knows, maybe it becomes a serial killer or whatever it is. Like, dog can become a serial killer.
I mean, a dog, you can just not, like, socially train your dog, and then it's gonna bite people or other dogs and that kind of stuff. So you can fuck up a lot of shit.
You can, but it's worse with kids, I'd say.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, like, you can fuck up with dogs as well.
You can, yeah.
Once you're gonna be a dog owner, you're gonna start seeing all these fucked up people. I swear. So yeah, and I think, and we talked about that topic as well. How like we're like I don't remember which episode it was, but we talked about how our generation is the first one that kind of breaks the cycle of passing trauma on from generation to generation. So I think, at least for me, for my family, I kind of feel like that's the case. It would be the case if I would ever have children, that I'm the first generation that kind of dealt with my own trauma first before getting children and then passing that on to them, giving them that burden. So on the other hand, I feel like a lot of people nowadays are way more reflected about themselves and their own issues, that they sometimes not only because of money or whatever decide to not have children, but because they know that they have issues themselves and they don't want to pass on children. And now if you think about it, like we're such a reflected generation, I think, that we're worried to fuck up children, and rather than getting children potentially fucking them up, which just with that knowledge, you're already gonna be doing better than your parents, right? You're never gonna be a perfect parent.
But yeah, true. But we all have issues, and you won't get rid of them ever, like all of them. So I think it's just, and I also wouldn't say that most of us are reflected, because most of not, I mean, maybe our generation, but the next generation is more like cancel culture than anything else. So I think the hybrids like us are the ones that think about these things more and potentially make it better, but we will always have some issues.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying that we're not gonna have the issue, but we're gonna be more reflected about it.
Yeah, and like, more aware of them,
The way I feel like it got handled in the past was like, oh yeah, I have issues, my partner has issues, our relationship has issues. You know what we should do? We should have a child, because that's gonna fix all of our problems.
Then she stays. He stays if I'm pregnant.
Exactly. Like, oh, he's about to leave me. Oh, don't you worry about that.
I'm preggo.
Or like, hey, our relationship is in shambles for like the last 3 years. You know what? Let's try to have a child, and then I'm gonna see him love our daughter or son so much that our love is gonna be ignited again.
Yes,
that kind of stuff. And then that's
have exactly how it works, guys.
That's exactly 100% how it works. And then you fuck up not only your relationship even more, and your child. You also ruin not only your own life, the life of your partner, and the potential life of your future child as well. So yeah, anyway, so I think it's like this weird thing where the people that would be great parents are too worried about other things and potentially decide to not have children, while there's other people that are just having children that are not thinking
shooting
about
them
it
out,
and just exactly, just popping them out, little trauma factories, if you will. Oh, that was nasty.
Trauma factories.
Yeah, but it's kind of true, don't you think? Like, it's like, you don't want, some people, they don't want to deal with their own issues, so they just try to make it fresh. Like, I feel like honestly, I feel like a few people are so, like, they just accept that their life is so fucked, or they're so full of trauma that they decide to just have a fresh start with a child, but they don't realize that just makes it all worse. Like the people just need to realize that you need to work on yourself first before you, first of all, can be in a healthy relationship, and then have like a good relationship with a future child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that even if you're reflected or whatever it is, that you're automatically gonna be the perfect parent. I don't think that anybody is gonna ever be a perfect parent. Like, there's no such thing. But you can be at least more reflective about what you're doing, what you're thinking. You can try to be better than maybe what you have experienced, and maybe try to learn also from your future child. You know what I mean? And try to not fuck them up, and just wait till society is gonna fuck your child up for you. I mean, that's the next thing. That's something that I would be super fucking afraid of. I think I talked about that before as well. Imagine you're doing somewhat good job, and then your child goes into school and has this asshole teacher and ruins everything.
But listen, it's all about what you did before, because I was a fucking bitch when I was younger. I was like between 15 and 18, there was no hope for me, no future, nothing. Like, what I did in these times, and who I like, not who I did, but who I like, my friend circle and everything, was just, it was very low. And whenever I look back, I'm like, damn, Steffi, you made it. How did you make it out of there? So I think it's a lot of like what you give your child. Obviously, like teenage puberty and everything is a tough time for everyone. And I was fucked up as well. I was very fucked up. But I can say, guys, you can make it out of there.
Yeah,
I'm the living proof.
I
So
mean,
I am not worried about that. Like,
true,
I'm just gonna
actually.
push my
Now that
child.
you think about it, dude, I had really fucked up parents. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, again, while they were together till I was 11, nice childhood. Still,
Yeah.
like, you know, a few things like that were Monka-esque, but like, let's say it really fucked up when I was 11.
Yeah.
That's when it just went all downhill. And I'm gonna be honest, I turned out pretty great. I want to
Amazing.
say, like,
Yeah.
I turned out great. Like, I already overcome my parents by, I don't know,
Yeah.
a lot, without wanting to sound like an idiot or something like that. So, and now think about it. They didn't even do the bare minimum parents should have done. And now imagine you do your very best, how much potential the child is going to have done, right?
Yeah.
If people with fucked up parents can turn out as good, under quotation marks, as I, imagine you doing your very best, how good your child can be. So, on the other hand, very, very true.
Yeah.
So, actually crazy. No, but it's actually kind of crazy how that goes, right? Like how fucked up you can be and how far you can turn around, or out of what a fucked up situation you can come and how great you can turn out. Dude, I could have been a fucking... If I think about it, like my mom left me alone for 8 weeks every summer since I was like 13 or 14. Dude, I could have fucking cooked meth in my house. I could have started a fucking sex cult at 14 at my house.
Yeah, she should be grateful that you turned out so great.
What did I do? I was worried that when my mom comes home that the house isn't clean enough. Or that I killed one of her plants or something like that. Fun fact, I hated plants because whenever my mom was gone, she had the full house full of plants. Fuck, I'm like my mom now. I just realized the house is full
That's
of
why
plants
that's why I was like smirking earlier as well, because when it comes to all these things, I know I have so many traits of my mom.
Same.
Like I would literally be at least 60% of behavior and everything is like my mom.
Oh yeah, I think I have a good 50% as well.
Yeah, I hate cooking. My mom hated cooking. When she had to do our like the sandwiches and everything for school, she just cut the salami in 3 centimeter like thick pieces and put it in the sandwich. My dad was like super like taking care of everything, like made it like super like with a lot of love, like sliced it very thin, cheese, everything. You always knew when my mom was making the sandwiches and when my dad made the sandwiches. And it's like I'm so the same with like we sit on the couch at home, like Max and I, we watch something, and in my mom's house, right, they have the kitchen and connected to the living room with the eating table, and you can be 100% sure when you're sitting on the couch watching a movie at approximately around 11, she either asks me to do her like here to make her curls, or she starts to bake a cake. And you just hear the mixer while watching a movie. So
yeah, and
you
I'm
always
the same,
do the
like muffins at fucking 2 a.m.
Yes, or I don't know, vacuum my apartment at 11 because I feel like, okay, I have to do it now. So I have so many traits from her, obviously. And I always have to like laugh when I realize that we have so many similarities when it comes to that, obviously. And then
was
from
it
my
for
dad
you
as well
that you hated the things when you were a child, and now you have the things, and now you're like, fuck, I'm the exact same? No, probably not, because you have a good relationship with your mom, right?
I mean, it's pretty annoying when she starts baking while you watch a movie. And I understand Max when he's annoyed when I start like cleaning the apartment or vacuuming at 11 p.m. in the evening, and he just wants to chill, but it needs to be done at this time. So I see the annoying part, but I also ignore it because I want to do it. So I know how she feels, and that's why I don't mind.
For me, dude, I hate it. I have so many, like, for example, I just realized the thing with the plants because, like, again, my mom was often gone for like 8 weeks in summer, and my mom had so many fucking plants, dude. And in summer, like we had like flowers in the balcony. And when it had like 30 degrees outside, you had to water those motherfuckers in the morning and in the evening so they don't die by the heat.
Yeah.
And at one point, I remember when I was like 16 or 17, I could not bother watering those flowers. So what I would do for 7 weeks, I would just let those motherfuckers die. And then before she comes back, I would buy new ones and put them in.
Oh my god, you are an evil genius.
I literally could not give a fuck about those fucking plants. And I swore to myself that I would never have plants in my apartment because it's so annoying, because she made me like a schedule, like, oh, you need to dose once a week, dose twice a week, this 2 times a day, this. And there were like 40 plants in a whole house. And now I'm the exact same. Like I have plants everywhere. Like I love it. Like for me, it makes me feel so home, and like it just gives the house a complete other feeling when there's plants in it.
That is very true. Yes, it looks nice.
It's
they
so
just
much work. I know.
make the room more like living. Can you
Alive.
phrase it like this?
I actually also read an article that having I read so many articles that having plants in your living space lowers anxiety levels. It like calms the mind. It's also something like energetic kind of thing. Anyway.
After feng shui, it's also very important to have those.
Okay, it's very good to know. How many do you need per room? What's the plant rule for feng shui? Do you know?
Usually you should, like where you work, you should have for sure one. That's what I know. Like you should have a plant. For example, here on I should have one here around me. Basically, you have a lot in the back. I mean, your room's not feng shui confirmed.
Not at all.
But
like the I would have to have the door in my back, right?
No, you would have the desk in your back, like where it needs to be diagonal to the door.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to sit at this wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, just mirror your whole setup.
Yeah.
That's how it would be.
Yeah. No. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, but plants are very important there as well. Yes.
So yeah, those kind of things, and then I think I said that before. Like my mom would always put things at the bottom of the stairs. And would be like, oh yeah, next time you go up, you take the things on the bottom of the stairs and take them upstairs. And now I do and I was always like, dude, why don't you just bring the stuff up? Like I would ignore it purposely and let the stuff be there. And my mom, every time I walk past, she's like, can you please just take the stuff upstairs when you go up anyway? And now I'm the same with Nathan. Like I put the stuff on the bottom, and every time, and Nathan walks by 4 times a day, and I'm like, dude, I put 2 rolls of toilet paper to the stairs because the toilet paper is about to run out upstairs. And I'm like, just take it upstairs. You're going up anyway. And then I'm like, I'm just like my mom.
Yeah,
so annoying.
I see so many similarities as well.
Same.
But then again, we're kind of the hybrids of both, right? So we're
oh yeah. Like
we have our own traits as well. That's the interesting thing. Then, what kind of traits we pass on or would pass on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our own traits, like. What would it be?
I would love to see, like I'm super interested in like, for example, the whole thing with like ADHD and autism, right? So if you have ADHD or autism, like the chance is really high that you pass it on to your children. So for example, for me, it was like I realized that I have ADHD when I turned like roughly 29, 30, and then now I realized this year that my dad is autistic. Right? So now I know that I got the fucking ADHD from my autistic dad. And then knowing that and then now knowing that I got myself an autistic partner as well. And then now I don't really know the genetic
Chi with the child, guys.
Yeah. So now
gotta be Einstein.
Yeah. Then like imagine now like autistic dad, ADHD mom, like what is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a fucking full-on ADHD hyperactive annoying child, or is it gonna be fucking smarty pants Einstein autistic? The what is it called? The new doctor? No, what is it called? Fuck, something like that. You don't know, or maybe maybe 2 and 2 equal 1 and 1. Seriously, it
Yeah,
equals, and then we got a normal child, and what are we gonna do with a normal person? Like, how do those work? like I was so yeah, I don't know. So I really have to say, like, I would like to have a child one day,
yeah,
and I would be so interested in how it turns out, and I would just like to see how it develops,
yeah.
giving it like a good environment to develop their own way while being raised with good values as well,
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, I mean, obviously, but I think the first time your child tells you it hates you in like a fight, or when they hit puberty or something like that, dude, it's gonna fucking break your heart. Like when they're really mad at you and they're gonna tell you, I fucking hate you, mom. I'll never want to talk to you again.
I know what you mean. I mean, this turned into a child topic now as well, like child episode at the moment. I was thinking about, because I'm watching Working Moms right now.
Mhm.
There apparently was they uploaded a new season on Netflix. I didn't see it before, like that.
Come a
this
little
even
closer to the mic.
This show even exists. So I started watching it. It has 5 episodes, 5 seasons, and there's all these topics. Like they talk about everything, and you see everything, and also that children, like, I fucking hate you, or whatever it is, and it bothers them a lot. Even she's a professional psychologist and stuff like that. Probably, yeah, gonna hurt you, but then I can't tell because I'm not in the situation right now, but from what I can tell, what I think is I wouldn't take it serious because I know I was the same. I never said I hate
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I did.
I never did that.
Oh, I did.
Not I think I never said that. And same with dogs, right? When I see people like letting dogs, like what dogs did, slip through just because they're so cute. It's like, no, you need to be consequent with a lot of things in life. And this is actually one part where I can be. I'm trained because I know how cute dogs can look when they want something, or in general, just from home. And you need to be like consequent sometimes. And you need to say no sometimes and stay like strong, no matter how cute they look. And then I see friends having dogs and letting like these things slip through, right? And this is how you turn it into a brat. So I'm very harsh with this. Like, even as well with Lily when she's here, like, I'm gonna tell her, no, bitch, we don't do this like this. Gonna stay no matter how cute.
The thing is, like, again, like that works with, I think, with children and with dogs, as you say. Like, the thing is, once you it's super important, first of all, to have boundaries and rules in your house. And I think the biggest issue is when you're like gray, when you're like, sometimes you let it slip, sometimes you don't. Like, you need to be black and white, I think. Like, so either something is allowed or something is not allowed. And then, like, I just see it with my dogs. Like, I think we talked about that before as well. Like with Mira, the first 4 years, I was really inconsequent. I was like, sometimes I let her do things, sometimes I won't. And that just made her sometimes behave, sometimes don't. And then sometimes when it was important that she would listen, she would just not, because I was not consequent enough. And now I learned from Sabrina that I have to be black and white to, this is the rule, and either you stick to it or you're not. And if you're not sticking to the rules, you're gonna have the consequence. You're gonna get corrected for it. And if you stick to the rules, you're gonna be fine all the time. And obviously, like with dogs, it's way easier than with children. But I can just see it, how the relationship between me and my dog, because she knows exactly, if I do this is going to be the consequence. If I'm going to behave, I'm going to be fine. And I think with children, giving them like clear lines of like, hey, you can maneuver within those boundaries, and sticking to those is something really important. Because again, like if you get yourself a brat, so like a really like misbehaved child that doesn't know where the boundaries is, like you don't only make your own life living hell, but also for everybody that's gonna be in contact with your child in the future, and also potentially messing up their future potential that they're gonna have in school, in work life, in relationships. You know what I mean? So I don't know, for me, no matter what, I would try to, I mean, I know it's way easier said than done, obviously, operating on enough sleep and not being in that situation and so on in real time, but I think it's really important to have certain values and try to translate that into raising a living being, I think.
That's why, guys, don't start with the kids, start with the dogs.
Exactly.
And if the dogs are too much, start with the plants.
Exactly. Start with the plants. See if you can water plant once a week. Once you have that, get a harder plant that you have to water twice a week. If you want to be hardcore, get plants in the balcony in summer that you have to water once in the morning and then in the evening. And then if you can do that, get a cat.
Get a dog.
No. First get the cat, where you have to do the litter box and feed. And then you can do the dog, where you have to walk and feed and train. And actually have to be somewhat, not even somewhat of a parent. You really, like, you pick your poison. Like, if, I'm going to say it right now, if you have an asshole dog, it's not the dog's problem, you're the problem. Like, it's literally, like, Sabrina's a dog trainer. 99% of the time, it is the owner that's the issue and not the dog. So, if you're listening to this and you're like, dude, I have such an asshole dog, such a fucking idiot, never listening, destroying everything, such a fucking brat. Dude, it's you. I was the problem for Mira 4 years, and now I have 2 dogs sleeping next to me. You didn't even notice I had them next to me for the last 1.5 hours.
Yep.
Because now I know how to raise dogs. And potentially at one point I'm going to know how to raise a child as well. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to have a child and it's going to be the biggest asshole ever. And then I'm going to release it to the world and you can deal with it. Imagine. Anyway, wasn't it?
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Pretty long one.
The rage spawn. The trauma factory popping out. I think the trauma factory was my favorite thing that I said today. That was actually a little bit hilarious.
My favorite was Philosophy Stone. Harry Potter and the Philosophy Stone.
Today was a good one. Completely went off topic, kinda. Sorry that I always bring you back into like the children and dog topic. It's just, I don't know. It's just a lot in my mind, I guess. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. This was a little bit of a longer one this week. We appreciate you. Steffi, you want to add anything or are you done?
No, I'm done.
Well, then, guys. Peace. Steffi doesn't want to...
Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. By the way, for everybody that is still here.
And not subscribe gets 1 week free OF of Julia and me.
Steffi. Oh my God, that's a great idea. Hey, we didn't talk about that, but that's fine. Listen, guys, we need subscribers so we can monetize our podcast. We have only 444 subscribers on YouTube. If you don't know, in order to actually monetize your content on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe if you haven't yet. And if not, get your boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, grandma, cousin, and make them subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would fuck my cousin. Why are you fucking my cousin? Please make them subscribe to our channel so we can monetize and finally, after 1.5 years, start making money out of this podcast. Because literally, we're sitting here every week. We're enjoying this, but we're not making any money out of this. We're actually burning money. So
True.
We're gonna raffle every month from now on for everybody that subscribed and comments on one of our videos in this month. A free month of OnlyFans. So good luck with that. And we appreciate you guys. We see you again next week on Monday. Thank you so much for listening. Sorry for rambling. This one was long. We love you all. Bye.
Peace.